play still goes, that's not going to happen. So you really couldn't find a tougher test to start the Clan with. And in the first half, with a minute left, we're tied at zeros before a questionable roughing call, a 50-yard completion. So Vineland was there, and as was the case last year in the first game with Williamstown, they lost a little ugly. A punt that was deflected down to the 2, a pick 6 on the other side, a couple offsides, keep a drive going. And the same story I've told everybody is like, oh my gosh, it was much closer. Well, the one thing that wasn't there was the Vineland's offense. They started out holding their ground, but when you're comparing how they did versus the number 1 defense in South Jersey, now you have a good defense, but a middle-of-the-road defense. I think we're going to see a little more success from them there.
Dan, I had a little breakfast with Dan, and he said, and I quote, "We're going to show some new wrinkles." And I think that's pretty good that you realize what happened and can come up with a better game plan, because they are better than they showed.
Oh, without question, and we're showing this because of the Red and Gray Gridiron Football Club. I'd like to thank the following sponsors for their support for the Vineland High School football season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caterers, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge or Radisson Hotel, TechNet Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria, MVP Sports Bar, Richling Carpet and Flooring, G&S Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Biondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Lugiano Medical, Van Dodge, Ashman Installation, the DeWinney family, and the Russo family. And now the Vineland High School family will step aside as the Vineland Marching Clan play our national anthem. And the Vineland football team and community thank those sponsors for making this possible as we continue to grow here with Vineland football. But tonight it's Atlantic City who won the toss. They've deferred to the second half. Now for Atlantic City, a rough year last year for Coach Leo Hamlet. 0-10 season for Atlantic City, but they pretty much played the same schedule we did. So it wasn't an 0-10 that wasn't going to beat some teams. And this year they start off 1-0 with a win last week, 21-13 over EHT in a really interesting game. I got to watch that, and a lot of crazy things happening there. Last year, Vineland won 21-0 down in Atlantic City. Did you watch some of that game, Coach?
Yes, I did. I never saw that many bad snaps in my life.
Oh, my gosh. It was over 10.
Oh, man. But I've known Coach Hammett for a long time. He's been hanging around football, and he's a good teacher. They just their program is going into the, what would she say, Rich, the toilet?
I would say rebuilding.
They had no freshman team.
I would use rebuilding.
Okay.
There we go.
When you don't have a freshman team, you really don't have a chance, to build on anything. I watched this kicker in practice, Rich. He kicks it about 35 yards. I think we're too deep.
Well, as we get ready to go for Vineland, they'll be receiving. And Egg Harbor Township's first play from scrimmage last week was a fumble that was picked up in return for an EHT touchdown. They battled back down as many as 13 points last week, so a resilient team.
Oh.
And sure enough, that's the exact distance, but to the up back as Anthony Arthur takes it from the 25. He's got a little room, looking to make a move, uses a big straight arm. He's still on his feet into AC territory. A real nice return by Arthur.
He took what a runner does. He goes to the open spaces, and that was a pretty good play there.
Well, for Vineland, it was an offense that sputtered a little bit. There were some drops. There were some missed assignments. But now let's see how they look in what I'll call a regular defense. Ibn Dorsey Cruz, big number 79 on your screen, has an initial burst that's incredible. But his vision was lacking. There's a give up the middle. It looks like a gain of about 4. Yeah, watching that film, I don't know if you noticed Ibn Dorsey Cruz, big number 79, up front on that defensive line. He gets a great surge and a great push, but doesn't quite ID the ball. So there's going to be room for Vineland's counters and delays through the middle of the field. It's Ryan Shelton at quarterback. And he gives to Tony over the right side, who's going to just pick up a couple, making it 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, this is a little new wrinkle, Rich, with 3 backs in the backfield. We didn't see that very much. And I think the reason last week our running game was stagnant, and that gives us an extra blocker back here.
And somebody else for the defense to look at, trying to figure it out. And Ibn jumps off sides. That's going to be big as Vineland gets the first down, and they're going to move it inside the 35. For Vineland at center, it's Jacob Rep, the senior at 5'11", 270. Probably had one of the stronger games on the offensive line as he was sealing down against that forefront and did a pretty decent job. At the guard, 77, David Dutra, the junior, 6'4", 260. Shelton now ready. He's just going to give up the middle to Broom. And he's hit and wrestled down, but a nice leg drive as that's going to go for about 5. At the other guard spot, Zach Tharp, the senior at 6'1", 280. Moving over to the left tackle, Eli Anderson, the junior at 6'2", 250. And 71, Josh Bennett, two-way player, over at right tackle.
As much as we've been on the offensive line a little bit, they're really coming off the ball. They drove 79 back 10 yards.
Real nice push and a move, and a real outstanding tackle for Atlantic City as Jameer Cartagena was the only one that could stop Broom on that run, and he's close to another Fighting Clan first down. I'd like to thank tonight's crew, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Brian Anthony, Doug Diola, and Ryan Steinbron. And executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer.
We had a holding call, Rich.
So Vineland going to get pushed back. It'll remain 2nd down, and happened up the field a little bit as it's going to be 2nd and 10. So it happened right a little before the first down markers. Tyreen Powell at tight end and wide receiver. He's one of the captains today, along with Conrad Jackson at wide out and sometimes tight end. Also coming out wide, Levi Mason, the Shalleck transfer. And Vineland's going to keep it on the ground to Broom. He kind of hides behind the offensive line for a moment and picks up about 3.
Well, so far, Rich, we've seen that Vineland thinks they can control the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and they're getting enough. The penalty set them back, but they're getting enough that they can continue with it.
Keep the drive going.
So last year's leading rusher, Nazir Broom, checks out. Sophomore Anthony Arthur in. As I mentioned last week, Arthur with a great preseason. Vineland loaded at backs because we haven't mentioned Tony yet. Here's the pitch to Arthur. He needs one more block and doesn't get it. He almost gets the edge, but he's brought down on the play by Kashawn Carpenter.
Typical about what I complain, Rich, when you run that sweep. Once you get out there, you got to turn it up. The wider you go, the more the defense can come. Al Brown used to be able to do that. I still think of Al turning it up. He'd get outside the line, the first move he made was upfield.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to play with Al as a sophomore, and it was something to see. The officials are calling a halt to play. Nice crowd here for the Fighting Clans home opener. As the video board is up and working, the scoreboard, the field looks outstanding.
Ooh, we kept the offense on the field, Rich.
Well, when you're on the 35 and you don't get much out of a punt, except a little danger of getting one block, so the offense will go for it. 4th and 11.
Could see the ball in the air for the first time.
At Atlantic City's 35. And sure enough, Shelton back to pass. He floats it over the middle and just off the fingertips of Tony. He extends as far as he can, and it hits the edge of his glove. And that'll go incomplete, but a great ball and a great pattern, literally just about 6 inches away from completing that in stride.
Yeah.
So Vineland's offense moves the ball, sees they can have some luck on the ground. The pass attempt goes really well also, is just inches away from completing that for the score. So AC takes over at their own 35. For AC, it's quarterback Corey Yeoman. And last week, as Coach mentioned, the snaps from center, there had to be 8 to 12 on the ground.
It was terrible.
And it really put him under duress, and that wasn't a defensive line like Vineland has. That was EHT's defensive line. So Vineland back to that 4-man front they were using last week. Yeoman wants to throw it right away, and he throws deep. Good coverage by Tony, but he falls off, and there's going to be a pass interference too.
It could be on them. He pushed off.
Well, we will see, but it's right at the 25. Yeoman got that one and took his time and delivered the strike down the field. Good coverage, but the receiver, seeing the ball, makes a play on it. Vineland's defender, he couldn't get his head around to adjust to the ball, and it goes for a big gain.
I guess it was against us, Riz, because they declined it. Took the play.
Kevon Williams up front for Vineland, along with Joshua Bennett. And DeMarcus Rivers. They're your interior 4 up on the front. But AC with a quick completion gets themselves set up. And Vineland jumps off sides. So Coach Russo had mentioned about getting off to a quick start. And you move the ball nice. That was going good, but big pass completion, penalty. AC starting to feel part of this ball game early.
Mistakes, mistakes, and mistakes.
Colomb and Yeoman. Oh, a little miscommunication, but Yeoman takes it himself, maybe to the 16, gain of a couple.
They, the backs went one way, the quarterback went the other. Well, That's the only mistake they make. They got it made.
So with the offsides and the gain of 1, it's now going to be second, and we'll call it 4. Nazir Broom and Wanye Kent in the middle. Excuse me, Lathan. Wanye's Lathan's older brother. So Yeoman looks to throw a fade. He throws it poorly, but coming out of nowhere is number 9. It looked like that just may have been a little too quick. I didn't see the receiver there, but Cartagena, Jameer for AC, shows up about 4 steps behind, but you can see they were trying to drag somebody late underneath that coverage by Powell.
Yeah, it was an in and out pattern. The wide out went in, and the inside receiver went out. It's a good pattern, but you got to.
Yeah, the timing was off as that out took way too long.
That's a tough pattern to cover when that wide out's coming in.
So 3rd down now and 4. I believe McGraw's wearing number 2. He's not in our roster. And there's a give to McGraw. He's hitting the backfield and drop down. Outstanding play by Kayvon Williams. Williams was hurt most of last year and really misses that opportunity to play, and Vineland certainly welcomes him back, as in the first game last year he got banged up and really didn't see much more. So 4th down for AC.
This young man, I watched him in practice. He's going to have to hit a, 32.
It's going to be a 38-yard field goal.
He was short on all of them in practice.
He was 3 for 3 last week, and I think he's going to skate it over. Nice kick.
Holy mackerel.
And Eric Nico, with 3 extra points last week, has a 38-yard field goal. So AC up 3-0 after the Vineland defense makes the stop.
That didn't get in the air very high, but boy.
It was right down the middle.
He,
You wouldn't call it a tumbling end-over-end perfect kick, but it was sausage leg booted, just boom, get on through there.
Very low.
So last week for Vineland was Shelton leading the rushing attack, 13 carries for 43 yards. Broom 10 for 39, Arthur 6 for 15, Tony 3 for 13. Passing Shelton 4 of 11. There were some drops there for 15 and a touchdown.
Yeah, there was a little change on defense for Vineland. Broom is playing linebacker now.
Yeah, Broom in at that inside spot. Kent stays alongside of him.
That's a real change to have Broom up.
Tony and Broom back deep. Last time it went to about the 25 where the upbacks are. That's second line in the back. Nito has his team on the board and he's ready to kick it off. Love to be able to mention some size of some of these guys, but we just have their class and maybe heights on half of them. That's going to be taken by Arthur again at the 25. Stutter steps, comes up the middle, makes a move to the outside. Good containment on the play by AC's LaShawn Trustwell. But a good return for Vineland as that comes out over the 40. Looks like it's going to be right at the 40.
You know what you haven't seen this year, Rich? A bust-out run.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of those in the past few years.
Well, Arthur's been close twice on those returns with one guy to beat and even trying to get the edge on that sweep play. Shelton now thinks it over. He's got 3 receivers and a running back behind him. Powell to the bottom of the screen. And Shelton's going to give to Arthur. Up top on the right, and an outstanding tackle made by McGraw. Let me know if you can pick up number 2's name. It didn't sound like they said McGraw, but our roster doesn't have a 2.
No, it doesn't.
But last week it was number 3, it was McGraw who led the way. Shelton pulls it down, takes it himself. He's hit. He breaks a couple tackles, gain of about 4 or 5. Ball loose on the ground. And let's see what they say. And it looks like the officials are saying the ball was down. And sure enough, it's 3rd down. Shelton was down before the ball came out. Antoine Rivera comes out. Tony goes in. Rivera had a real nice game on defense last week.
Now, there's terrible officiating. Not the call, not anything. But no sign of what happened. Nobody knew what happened.
No communication.
Point down that's on the ground or point the other way. Do something.
Levi Manson at the bottom of the screen. It's 3rd and long. Shelton may be trying to throw this one. Pressure from the backers as they creep up. Shelton back to throw it. Buys some time. Floats it over Conrad Jackson as he would have had the 1st down, but it sails on top of Jackson, so it looks like Vineland will be punting. Shelton did a nice job buying a little time with his legs there and had Jackson late, but just not able to hook up. Jackson, Powell, and Shelton, since they were 7 years old, they've been all best of friends.
You got to connect that pass, Rich.
Saw a little bit of that with Cam Newton last night. So 4th down, Shelton the punt. And it's a bad snap. It's picked up. A couple tackles to break and not able to do it as that ball skidded on the turf, makes it back to the line of scrimmage.
I don't know if that was planned or not, Rich.
So Broom picks it off the ground and gets it back to the line of scrimmage, but AC with real good field position here. As Vineland's had a little bit of a stagnant start. Antoine Rivera, Tony, Nashon Gregory, Tyrene Powell, your D-backs.
Well, so far we've seen no spark.
Not yet. So Yeoman has him ready at the Vineland 40. Great field position. And he's going to throw. He's looking deep. It's Gregory in coverage. Spies the ball and comes back and knocks it to the ground. Great coverage by Nashon Gregory. Gregory, stride for stride, gets his head around, sees the ball, and comes back to it.
Actually, he had a better chance in catching it than anybody. Pretty good coverage. 1-on-1 out there. You better be on your man. You got no help.
Barry Turner, your linebacker, to the top of the screen. 3-year starter, played a little quarterback before too. Yeoman's going to give and trying to get to the edge, but not able to, as Powell and Kent converge.
Powell really read that well.
Boy, he gets to that line of scrimmage really quick from back there, Coach. So 3rd and 6.
It's going to be interesting to see where they play Powell in college. It really will. He's a big safety.
So we haven't seen one of those bad snaps from AC. Maybe they cleaned that up. And confusion and getting to the outside of Williams, but great pursuit. And making the play for Vineland is Antoine Rivera, who shows some speed. That broken play almost would have been better than the one they had called, as Vineland had it stuffed out.
Rich, I'm not sure that's not a read where he fakes and takes off.
Yeah, but the back was not gaining the line and kind of was going. I don't think they were close enough to even have an option on that one. I think they went the wrong way for the second time this game. So 4th down for AC, out of field goal range. And AC is going to take a timeout. Think about what they're going to do. Up 3-0 here in the first quarter with 2:37 to go.
Rich, I'm not sure this quarter's dragging or going fast.
I think it's going fast, Coach. I'm looking at, we had some time pregame. There's a lot of things we did and didn't say, but I guess we're going to have to leave them that way. Thank goodness I type over 40 words a minute. Otherwise, these 3 sheets would have been a waste.
Any good games this weekend, Rich?
Well, I'm just waiting on that Eagles one, Coach. I haven't checked out the high school schedule yet.
Is St. Joe played a prep this weekend?
I'm not sure, Coach. I haven't got to check out what's happening around yet.
I left my sheet home with all the games. I had that preseason with all the schedules.
Mm-hmm. So Vineland's defense with a 4th down. Ball on the Vineland 35 for Atlantic City and Yeoman at quarterback. They've thrown the ball a little more than expected. Last week threw it about 1 out of 5 plays, 20%. They've thrown it about 50-50 here. They try to pull Vineland off sides. That doesn't work. There's a give through the middle, and it's going to be right by the 1st down marker.
He's short, Rich.
Looks like it's going to be right on the 31. The marker looks like on the 29 3/4. I think he may have it, and he does. 1st down for Atlantic City.
Wow. I didn't think there was any way he would get a 1st down.
Well, he didn't have that far to go on that, and
I was 4th down, too.
big conversion. Kind of hurts, too, when you hold somebody to a 4th and medium and they get it. You kind of start to lose a little more momentum. Chapman at the bottom of the screen for ACC if Yeoman wants to throw. Instead, he's going to give right up the middle and good positive yards.
Yeah, they're getting 4 and 5 yards of crack. And Woody Hayes said you only need 3 1/3.
That's it.
I watched Woody Hayes the other night on Greatest College. That was a really good show.
I got to meet Woody Hayes at Ohio State at the stadium when I was in high school. Very interesting man. 2nd and 6. Yeoman gives again. This time the middle's bottled up as Kent's on the bottom of it with lots of help on top.
He actually lost the yard.
So 3rd and long now, 3rd and 7. You know, I was out on a wrestling tour, and Woody Hayes was kind enough to let us on the field, take us in his office, talk to us, show us Eddie Griffin's 2 Heismans, the only guy to win 2 Heismans. It was really a nice experience. So 3rd down.
Big play for Vineland's defense here.
And it may be 2 down territory again. So Vineland may be stopping 2 plays here. And we got to delay a game. That's really going to hurt AC and push him back behind the sticks. So 3rd and 12. Hey, somebody else makes a penalty, Coach.
It's kind of been penalty free. Each team, I think, has one this quarter. Didn't we jump offside, I think?
Yeah, I just like catching a break on a penalty here and again. And this one certainly sets Vineland up, but AC is going to spread the field with 4 receivers. Yeoman, it looks like screen, and he's hit early and dropped. Broom comes through first to make the hit. It looks like Williams cleans it up. Big loss back to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 4th and 19 from the Vineland 40, and we've reached the end of the first quarter. Well, I think that was a quick one.
Yeah. Atlantic City's had the ball 3 times. I'm sorry, 2 times. And one was stopped on a bad snap. And Vineland's had the ball twice, same amount of times. This is Atlantic City's 3rd possession. It's been a very vanilla.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with that sack, it's going to make Atlantic City punt and try to pin Vineland back with the ball on the 40. So you don't have to defend those 2 downs, thanks to the delay of game and the sack.
Yeah. Not a bad crowd, Rich.
No, beautiful night, too. The first 2 weeks we haven't had oppressive heat like before. That's another thing keeps these games moving without all the cramping up on the field. Only a couple times last week.
Nice crowd.
Yeah, nice crowd and a nice breeze and a nice night to be outside. So AC's going to go for it. 4th and 19.
Wow.
Yeoman just with 2 receivers out. And a procedure penalty, a false start on the offense. Wasn't much of a move, but a little bit of a flinch that the official sees. That's going to knock him back to the 45. See if that sends in the punt team.
I don't really think they have a punt team. Because if you watch the films, 3 snaps punted, 2 went over his head, 1 was a ground ball.
So it could be interesting here as they send the punt team out from the 45 trying to pin Vineland back, and it's Broom back for Vineland along with Tony. Looks like they may take another delay as they need a player. See if they can get set up in time. And they will be able to get it
good
off.
snap.
Kick angled away and caught by Tony. Makes a move to the inside. Now belly's back. Is he going to be able to outrun to the edge? And he does, to the 35 and out at the 40. What a bad series of one play for Caleb Feliciano, last week's star for AC, with a reception of a tip pass for a touchdown. This week he's late getting on the field. Then he gets outrun to the corner because he didn't contain. So he's not going to want to watch that one on film. But for Vineland, great field position at the 42-yard line. Vineland just needs to hit a couple little ones, gain some confidence, and get that offense rolling. Shelton takes it himself, and looks like he may have been face masked. He's drugged down after a loss of 1. So nothing there that time. Kent checks in for Vineland. See if Vineland just tries to run to the short side here as they're a little bit overloaded there. Instead, Shelton the pass. Fires it. Oh my goodness. Little trickaroo as Powell throws to Shelton.
Powell.
Yeah, they're both tall guys. I'm watching and I'm looking like, why is he in there? And not only do they fool the defense, they fool us as Shelton gets his reception and a first down for the Fighting Clan.
Danny told me, surprises, he said he was going to use Powell back there.
And Powell's back there right now.
And Sheldon at tight end.
This time Powell takes it himself to the 40, 35, 30, 25 on his feet with a big straight arm and runs in the end zone. No flags on the field. And Tyreen Powell takes it to the house for the Fighting Clan. That's going to be a 44-yard touchdown run. Well, Coach Russo also said, hey, last week I didn't get the ball to Powell enough. We didn't get the ball to Powell enough. And sure enough, Powell throws a pass, and then it just looks like he glides around the end. He really gains ground. Real 6'4", gains ground, and he's very fast with his strides. And I didn't think he was going to be able to turn it up and get more than a handful of yards.
Something happened.
Something bad because we're coming all the way back. It's going to be back at the 41-yard line. Well, after they got in the end zone and jumped around, I started looking at you, Coach. And bad things happen.
Terrible referee and no signals.
Shelton back in under center with a tight formation. And Shelton gives a delay through the middle. Nazir Broom has a really nice run. He's going to have the first down. Great vision, good blocking up front. Broom picks up about 9. It's going to be first down at the 31.
I think that run sparked him a little bit.
Yeah, it's got me to turn my head away, and that would have been a nice run and score for Powell. But they do have a little more life now as Shelton barking out signals. He's going to give to Arthur through the middle. He dips under the big defensive lineman and is going to get wrestled down, but he has over a handful. Looks like a gain of close to 5. Yeah, right at 5. Big 79 Ibn Dorsey Cruz. Little size mismatch, but able to get underneath his outstretched arm for some good positive yards. So second and 5. It's Arthur back behind. This time to throw it is Shelton. And he's going to overthrow. I don't think they're going to be a flag. I think that was too far over his head, but intended for Powell in the end zone.
Sheldon seems to have a little more zip on the ball tonight too, Rich.
Yeah, that's one thing. He throws a hard, strong, tight football, and that was some of the drops last week. And this one, it's like trying to take something off of it to get it where you want. So 3rd and 10. Finally going to change it up. We have 9 minutes and 20 seconds and the clock isn't running. Vineland's going to take a timeout and talk it over. This 3rd and 5.
Yeah, they avoided the penalty there.
Seemed like they were waiting to call timeout.
They avoided the penalty. They would have got a delay. They've had good field position, Rich. It hasn't like Vineland hasn't, got in good field position, but they just can't. Powell's run when it got called back, that was devastating. And no signal. I don't know what. Do you know what happened?
Nope.
You got to give a signal, let people know. You know, good officials, boy, they give a good signal. I don't mean they're bad officials. Their mechanics are not.
Exactly. And none of them seem really decisive. So 3rd down for Vineland, probably 2 down territories. It's 3rd and 5 from the 32. So Vineland setting an I formation, and they're going to try to power it up the middle with Broom, and he's going to dive forward to the 19-yard line. That's going to be a 1st down for the Fighting Clan. Vineland uses some power there and just a blast through there with 2 lead blockers. Again with that I formation. Nazir Broom with a big block leading the way. And they pick up about 45, excuse me, Broom, Butler. Now it's Butler 45. I kind of mixed a couple up. But Butler playing some linebacker and now coming in as that like second fullback, what you call the halfback.
H-back.
And he's getting that one-on-one ISO block and just destroyed the linebacker there for an easy 5 yards for Vineland. He's that second one in the stack. It's Williams up front. Boy, and an outstanding block again and a real nice run too. Looks like that's another 1st down for Vineland as they're just enforcing their will and shoving the ball down AC's throat, running 3 guys up in the middle at him.
They seem to have found a weak spot.
Or a strength with Butler just clearing out the linebacker. If you know you can pick a linebacker out of there, and he's done it 2 plays in a row. Let's see if they go 3 with Arthur as the tailback. Arthur stutter steps, tries to find a seam to fall down on, picks up about a yard. So it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 5.
When you're in an eye like that, Rich, you can't stutter step. Straight ahead.
Exactly.
When he stutter stepped there, he brought the defense to him. Just take what you can in the eye.
So Shelton back deep, Powell in the middle. Shelton's going to take it himself. He's going to get hit and dive over the end zone. No. Right to the 1. Interesting formations as Powell is kind of between the guard tackle to lead the way blocking on that.
Yeah, I think Sheldon gave that away. I knew he was going to run because he went deeper.
Yeah, he was very deep.
Very deep.
So back to that eye of Ryan Williams. Nas Butler this time with Broom behind him. Broom's hit in the backfield.
Wow.
Big hit and a big tackle for AC to make the stop. Coming from the edge, showing some speed and getting there.
Do we go for the tie here?
Carpenter.
Do we go for the tie or do we try to get it in?
No, because I go to get it in because I like my field position even if I don't.
Okay, I like that.
Now, if I was on the 10 or the 8, I'm kicking it. But right there, Vineland going to eye it up again. Broom is the back man. Wouldn't be surprised if Shelton took it himself here. Shelton rolls, throws, complete. Beautiful execution on the play. as that's complete to Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is in that eye. There's three backs. I'm calling the first one the full, the second one the half, the back one the tail, as he's been at that fullback spot, snuck through the line of scrimmage on an out, and which everybody thought was a run, makes a real nice catch from a beautiful throw to get Vineland in the end zone and up on top with 5:52 to go in the second quarter. A real nice drive for the Fighting Clan, mixing it up, getting in the end zone earlier, but a penalty brings it back, and they still march their way there. Henry Garton now into kick. Barry Turner doing the holding. And it's going to be Marcelino Ojeda, the fourth, doing the snapping. And procedure on Vineland, that'll move it back 5. So this will be the equivalent of a 25-yard field goal, but it is just the extra point for Vineland to go up 7-3. Garton with plenty of leg. Good snap by Marcelino. Turner puts it down. Garton boots it, and it is good. So 7-3, your Vineland High School Fighting Clan with 5:52 to go in the first half. Much better drive there that time, Coach.
Yeah, they found, as you said, a strength pounding the ball. I should say they found a weakness on Atlantic City's defense.
Yeah, half full.
Yeah.
And what happened? Atlantic City compensated for that. Shelton rolls and hits one of those backs for a touchdown. So kind of just Vineland one step ahead on that drive.
That was an excellent throw. That might be his best throw of the year. He hit that man dead on. He was sliding to the outside. Actually, he had two receivers out there. I don't know if they were both supposed to be out there, but he had one deep, one short.
And Ryan Williams, I don't believe on the stat sheet last season, or of course so far this one, as Tony's the only one to receive a ball before this game. But really doesn't mess it up. I mean, he gets it, he runs a good pattern, makes the catch, then turns his shoulders upfield. So all around a nice job, and the offensive line really sold that run. So Garton's going to kick it off. AC standing back at the 15 with their deep guys. That's Cartagena and number 2. Garton knocks it to the 20. Picked up in full stride, hit, spinning off, and a nice tackle by Broom. But a good return for AC close to the 40. So right on the 40 for AC. 5:47 left in the first half. Really can't say what AC's offense is doing well. They completed a few passes and don't really remember spectacular run. Small gain.
They're gaining.
Yeah, they're getting like 4 on that.
But then they break down. Vineland's defense breaks them down. And this is their 4th possession. And the only good one they had was that 38-yard field goal early in the first quarter. Not early, 6:05. And Vineland has shut them down after that.
Hit and drop, not much of a gain there as Broom catches a sliding running back. Rivers and Kayvon Williams in the middle, with Broom and Kenton Turner at the backers. They're trying to just get up on that inside, bees and inside. The first and second gaps on both sides of the line. And they're not having great success, but they're having 3 or 4 yard success, just enough to keep you moving. See if Vineland tries to penetrate a little bit here. And Broom looks like he's coming, and he is. Hitting the backfield, spinning away, moving forward is number 2 before Turner takes him down, but it's going to be 4th down and a long 2 for AC. They're on their own 48.
That was a pretty good play by Kent. He shot the gap, met the back of the backfield. Kent made a real good play on that.
And then Turner slides over the top to cover up.
Nah, they're not going for it, are they?
They're going for it, Coach.
Holy mackerel.
Oh.
They have no faith in their punting game at all, Rich.
Or a lot of faith we may jump off sides. Let's see what happens here. Watch the ball, fellas. And Vineland jumps off sides. And it is offsides on Vineland. That's going to give AC the first down. It's not been the strength of that defensive line as they've been jumping early in some key spots.
Shouldn't even be listening, Rich. You should be watching the ball.
And you got to know when it's 4th and less than 5. Cheat a little bit, back up a little bit in case you do move, that you're not going over. So they give up the middle and another 3 or 4.
Except for Sheldon's pass, this thing has been very vanilla, and Atlantic City completed 1 pass, and that was it.
That was another
It was
long
an
one.
old-fashioned rock and sock 'em.
Well, that gain wasn't too big as it's going to be 2nd and 8. So if Vineland can make a stop here, you may make Yeoman have to throw. 3 receivers this time for AC. And these are all free plays here. He's floating it out. Ball's loose on the ground. And Vineland comes up with it at the 40. The reception made, it looked like Powell knocks it out. And Vineland recovers. That skipped around a little bit, and Vineland with the football at their own 41 with just over 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in the first half.
That's a pretty good play by Atlantic City. They had the corner.
At worst, it was going to be 3rd and short. So Shelton and Vineland back with the ball. Shelton fakes, looks to throw. Now he's going to roll, and he's going to float it harmlessly out of bounds. As pressure arrives late from AC with Colombo and Feliciano. Did you see the real neat defensive lineman tipped the ball and the other one caught it in the end zone for their last touchdown last week, Coach?
Yes.
I couldn't figure out how they scored. I'm like, that was a pass. And then I saw it deflected. 2nd and 10. Safety blitz. Shelton tries to step inside of it, but number 2 makes a great play. So Vineland's going to be going backwards here. It's going to be 3rd and 13 with 1 minute and 54 seconds to go in the first half. Vineland may be letting this run down. 135 and running. So one of the things, you want the time off the clock, but you convert a first down here, you want it back on. And let's see, Vineland's just going to run a dive, then hit up around the head and brought down. Yeoman makes the tackle. He was the leading tackler last week for AC. So it's going to be 4th and 9. And AC will take a timeout with just 1:13 to go before halftime. The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharme's, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caterers, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge or Radisson Hotel, TechNet Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, DNS Dry Cleaning, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Biondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Lugiano Medical, Van Dodge, Ashman Installations, the DeWinney family, and the Russo family. The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
Rich, minute 13. And they tried a fake last time on a punt. It didn't work.
I'm not sure they tried a fake. I kind of thought that ball skidded, but we'll have to see. Good snap that time. I think he's going to get it over number 2's head. It's going to hit at the 25 and sit there right at the 25-yard line with 1:02 to go. Atlantic City takes over down 4. Interesting series between Vineland and Atlantic City. Vineland's won the last 3 games by a combined score of 90-15. Atlantic City won 9 of the previous 10. There was a long time, there were some nightmare trips down to Atlantic City. And boy, when Atlantic City would get rolling, they could put it on you in a hurry and rack up some points.
When I was a young coach, Rich, there was one job I wanted, and that was Atlantic City football. They used to come out with athletes that were unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And John Boyd was the coach. He was a good coach. And he kept those kids in line, and he kept them playing football. Nah, Atlantic City's not going to try a long pass, are they?
Well, 1st and 10. As Coach mentions, not much time. Back to throw, looking deep, hit. Williams hits him up high. It's going to go for a sack. The clock will keep moving. And Turner has been getting more and more involved each play as Turner's low. Williams up high. Broom comes back in. Vineland goes with an extra linebacker as Rivers checks out. "25 seconds and running." There's a give and a big opening, but it closes up. A hard running, squirting forward. It's going to be 3rd and about 4. And that makes AC say, we'll try another time with 5.3 seconds to go in the first half.
Huh. I would think at this point they let the clock run out, only being down 7-3. I didn't expect the game to be that close. So Atlantic City has held their own for a while.
You know, it feels like a 15-round fight for the first 3 rounds. You just kind of,
Yeah.
And I think we've shown that in this first half we've been the better team, but there's been no pull away.
No.
You know, and That's kind of that feeling out process that this game is feeling like. Of course, that Powell touchdown coming back on the penalty, you know, that was something that really inflated the crowd and the team. And losing that and you drive down, it's a great feeling, but not as good as when you pull off a Powell to Shelton pass and then a Powell sweep. So 3rd and about 3. Yeoman yet to have one of those horrible snaps. Yeoman sets. He looks to the bottom of the screen, tries to pick his way through the top, and it's going to be tackled and dropped, and that'll do it. Butler gets off from the bottom of there, and that's going to do it for the first half here. The Vineland home opener. It's the Vineland Fighting Clan 7. The visiting Atlantic City Vikings 3. Atlantic City will be receiving the second half kickoff. Coach?
Yeah, Rich, a couple of highlights in the first half. Atlantic City's first possession, they drove down, and the young man kicked a 38-yard field goal with 6:05 left. Vineland had the ball, 1, 2, 3, their fourth possession. Powell on a 45-yard run with 10:37 to go got called back. Vineland then took the ball from the penalty and drove down the field, and Williams scored on a 4-yard pass from Sheldon at the 5:52 mark of the second quarter to put Vineland up 6-3, and of course the kick was good. And Atlantic City just had their 5th possession, and halftime ran out. So Rich, at halftime, Vineland 7, Atlantic City 3.
All right, and we'll be back for the second half of Vineland High School football as your Vineland High School marching clan band get ready to take the field. Coach, we'll be back in a few moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder again, please get the stop out to a concession stand located in the back of the main of the home bleachers. They have everything you like. They have hamburgers, hot dogs, everything. Drinks, candy, pretzel, everything you like. So please get the stop out of the concession stand. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening and viewing pleasure, please welcome to the field the Vineland High School Marching Clan. The band is under the direction of Miss Eileen Bosco. The band staff includes Mr. Justin Feliciano, Mr. Aaron Sikorsky, Mr. Matthew Thomas, Mr. Tyler Steinbaum, and Miss Kirsten Smith. Band officers include Drum Major James Vituccio, Band Captain Anthony Jimenez, and Band Lieutenant Jessica Meyer. Now sit back and enjoy this year's show, Trapped in Time.
most fundamental level, science tells us, the laws of nature are symmetrical. They work as well going backward as they do forward. The arrow of time that traps us is not a fact of nature, but a product of our own minds. So then, can we escape it?
Tell me if you see me on the big screen.
Tell me as he looks over here. What an idiot. What an idiot.
Yo, that messes up my shoes every time. Biology's so fun.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there was 154 left on the clock. Might want to start making your way
Josh,
back
Mac.
to the stadium for the second half of the football game. Just a reminder again to all those people, go to South Jersey Sports, and vote for the Vineland High School Marching Clan as the best band in Cumberland County. A nice little contest going on there at this time. So we invite everyone to go on and vote for the Vineland High School Marching Clan as the best band in Cumberland County. And I see I'm about to get a call right now. And how about those Fighting Gang cheerleaders out there running around doing their job? Let's hear it for the Fighting Gang cheerleaders. Oh yes, it's true, it's true. You might want to make your way back to the stadium. Second half about to start. All of you go.
Yeah, I never know it's okay. No, I it's like football.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a reminder again for your safety and security. The Athletic Department and School Administration encourage you to be aware of any unusual activity. Please report any suspicious activity to any event staff members immediately. Enjoy the game and remember, report suspicious activity. See something, say something.
Welcome back to Gittone Stadium in the game between Vineland fighting Clean and Atlantic City Vikings. Vineland has a 7-3 lead at halftime in a game that's been like an old-time knockdown affair. Each team drives the ball a little bit, turns it over. Vineland had a touchdown called back by Powell and a beautiful run, and then took the ball and drove it down the field, though, and scored from Sheldon to Williams on a 4-yard pass. I'm still looking for that little spark, Rich. I just think we're better in Atlantic City, and our skilled people are going to break out. I got that feeling it's going to be our half.
Yeah, I felt the same way coming into this, and we've kind of controlled it. But I expected the offense to get rolling, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen really quickly in this half. You had mentioned what else is going on before, Coach. It's Mainland at GAMI, EHT OC. Let me just pick out a couple of St. Joseph Millville. You'd want to know about that one.
Yeah.
St. Augustine Prep at Lenape.
Ooh.
Shawnee Cherokee, Hamilton Timber Creek. And we'll talk about some more of them later. But that
St.
first,
Joe at Lenape, huh? Boy, they're stepping up in their schedule, too.
well, I got to think for Vineland, it's kind of, you've done okay, you've done all right. We just need to control a little more. It's not like Atlantic City's moving up and down the field, but they're taking a ton of time off the clock. They're running at 3 yards a pop. On a drive, they get 2 first downs, gain 24 yards, and they're putting it back or turning it over. So they haven't really threatened except that long pass, but they're keeping that offense off the field quite well, and that's something that's worked out really good for Coach Hamlet. And
If
I
I
think
was Coach Hamlet, I'd be thrilled to death with the score 7-3. I really would, Rich.
and getting the ball to start this half.
Yeah.
You know, I watched film on Atlantic City. Kind of described it to you earlier today, like a horse race and a claiming race. You got a $5,000 claimer and a 10.
Yeah.
And, you know, it should just be a little bit of a matter of time. Now, they're both big Group 5 schools, but there's just a difference in where our program is in Atlantic City. So Atlantic City, as I mentioned, won 9 of 10 before this last 3-game win streak by us. So we know what it's like to be on the other side, and it takes a while to rebuild some stuff.
Yeah.
But Hamlet just in his second year, and I think where our program is a step ahead. And hopefully
I
the
agree.
second half will show that.
I think our program is a step ahead of everybody in the Cape. Forget our schedule with this, what is it, West Jersey League or But if you take the old Cape schools, there ain't nobody could touch us in the Cape.
Garton to kick it off. It's going to come to the 20, and it's bobbled. And jumping right on top of it quickly is Jameer Cartagena. So after that, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for AC. Now AC's had luck with a delayed give up the middle. As we mentioned, it's been for about anywhere from 2 to 4 yards of pop. They haven't really exploited the edge of Vineland, which was a problem last week, and a problem the defense sometimes ran into.
I'll tell you who I'm impressed with, Rich. I'm impressed with Broom at linebacker.
Yeah, he looks good in there.
He is quick.
And
He
now he's
reads.
back on the outside. And Butler back on the inside alongside Kent. But Yeoman is going to give to number 2, who's hit right away and wrestled down after a gain of 2.
He got a little more than 2, Rich.
Oh, yes, he did, Coach. So 2nd and 6.
The coach from Atlantic City has the patience of a saint. He just must know he's not going to outskill Vineland. And he just wants to keep the ball away from Vineland.
That's what we ran into last year with St. Augustine Prep. So Vineland back to that 3-down lineman look. It was 4 in the first half. Now trying to get to the edge, getting turned in, and a real nice job coming up and doing so. Kent bounces back in,
That was a nice
but
play.
Turner does a nice job with some help from Williams.
Kent really made it. See, that's a good tackle. When you can tackle a person and he can't go forward. Excellent tackle by Kent. What year is he?
You're a junior. You're exactly right, because it's that fall forward to add those 2 yards.
Kent's a junior.
Tony down at the bottom of the screen. Speedy Antoine Rivera inside of him. 3rd and 5. Yeoman back to pass. He's got a receiver that's well covered, and a flag comes in. Ball to the inside of the pattern, and as the receiver tried to fight to the inside, they're saying Turner obstructed him. Not quite sure about if that was catchable, because that ball was thrown towards the middle of the field about 8 yards from where the receivers were. Nice job by Atlantic City receiver fighting for it to give him the chance at that.
Who did I see the other day? Oh, Scott English. He said, Coach, I remember. Because, you know, Rich, I coached the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, if we get beat, tackle them.
Yep.
Because it's the high school, it's 15 yards. It's not spotted a foul or anything like that. This guy said, you told us to tackle them.
But it does make a 1st and 10. AC at their own 45. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Cologne to the top. See if they just wanted to spread Vineland out to run underneath. Sure enough, that's what they do, and that closes up nice with the linebackers flying to the ball.
Patience, patience, patience. Atlantic City coach has a lot of patience. You know, you figure 9 minutes ago in the 3rd quarter, it's still 7-3. He's kept his team in the game. You know, the clock's running.
All the time, all the time.
All he needs is a break. Or the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
We need a break.
Then make them press to move the ball. So
yeah.
2nd and 9.
They have to get out of this pounding the ball.
I got to
offense.
think they throw this one after faking back up. Same formation as before. And to throw is Yeoman. Floats it over the middle, and it's going to be intercepted, I believe. Keep fighting for that football. And it's intercepted. Levi Manson. Oh, Barry Turner. I'm sorry, Barry.
Beautiful. He played that ball beautiful.
Well, he had it. The offensive player tried to get it back, and good thing he kept fighting because joint possession goes to the offense. But Turner, who's been sneaky good in that first half defensively, comes up with a big interception. And that's what you're talking about. If they have to start doing something, you expose yourself a little more than running counter on the inside 20 times. 1st and 10, Fighting Clan. They're at their own 44. Shelton pump fakes, has a man, and overthrows Jackson. The pump fake, and then a missile flies over Jackson's head as that was a touchdown as the defenders converged on the fake. That's twice tonight that this timing and everything just a little off, but they were 2 touchdown plays.
I thought he threw that ball well, Rich. The receiver had a chance to catch it. And if that happened, he threw the ball well.
Yeah, I just think you hold it a little more, put a little more under it, let him run a little further. That ball was on him before he could turn his head. So 2nd and 10 after the near miss. Shelton going to throw it again. He sits, he's poised, delivers perfect to Powell at the 50. Powell with a straight arm, runs over a defender. He's to the 30, picks up a block and a big straight arm. Powell in the end zone, bullies his way to it with 2 straight arms, breaks a tackle. And that's going to be a 57-yard touchdown completion to Powell, who he has been incredible once he has that football in his hands. Shelton fired up, Powell fired up. And just that quick, Vineland looking to make it 14-3. Boy, he's tough to tackle, Coach.
There was a spark.
Well, the 2 times he's had the ball in his hands, both have been real productive. One stuck, one didn't. But with 8:49 to go, Vineland back on the scoreboard. Garton set the kick off the Turner hold. It was Turner with the interception that set Vineland up. And that one's going to be blocked.
Well, that's a good start to the half.
I'll tell you what, you're watching some scout tape. I know there's a lot of people tough to tackle, but with that straight arm and length that Powell has, it's hard to get to his hips or his legs or his body.
Well, I see his grandmother every day at the 3 days. I wave my Rutgers towel in front of him. I say, you could go see him play because at home. I said, you know what a ride that is to Virginia Tech?
That's right. Powell, early commit to Virginia Tech. They did have a coaching change, so he's still at Virginia Tech, but his ears are a little open, I would assume, after a coaching
Well,
change.
he committed. He didn't sign. I don't think he's eligible. Oh, I'm sorry. If he committed and does what she said, he'll be leaving in January. He's going to go to college early to go to spring ball.
Much like Isaiah Pacheco, the Rutgers running back, who
Yeah.
had 156 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first week of the college season
Looked
for
pretty
Rutgers.
good against Iowa, too. He had some sparks.
So Garton puts his foot high, end over end, down to the 20. And not getting fooled is the Vineland defense as Broom makes the tackle. Gregory up there not fooled either as they receiving backs kind of ducked in front of each other. So that's going to go from the 31-yard line.
Second possession of this half. Last time he threw an interception and we got the ball. And that's went down and scored.
Let's see if
quickly.
let's see if Coach Hamlet's a little more urgent. I would say you stick to just going underneath one more until we score again. But let's see if he tries to do something here. Not as wide of a formation with two backs alongside the quarterback, Yeoman. Yeoman gives up the middle. Williams clogs it up. The Vineland defensive line and linebackers then make the stop. On that inside, Kayvon Williams has had a pretty strong game in there for Vineland, number 52.
I think the front six has done a great job. You know, you can't be a good linebacker without those people up front taking. You know that. I don't tell you.
Oh,
you,
yeah. And that one, Ryan Williams, gave the running back nowhere to go to the bottom of the screen and made him run back into that pursuit. Also up front for Vineland, DeMarcus Rivers. He's at nose now. With a Williams sandwich on the outside. Rivers this time gets his big paw out there and stops the running back for a loss and gets some help on the inside.
They got strange backfield sets in Atlantic City. They got a back alongside the quarterback, somebody behind him. A little strange.
And it's just weird. Like, what they're doing is similar to when we have our quarterback and back and you ride the ball and decide to take. They know where it's going, and it's a pivot and a real open handoff.
You know who I love to watch play, Rich? Army.
Oh, yeah.
They run that veer.
You can't find the ball unless you follow the guards, which is something the linebackers worked on this week. 3rd and long for Atlantic City, looking to answer the Vineland Powell touchdown. Yeoman back to pass. Pressure from Williams. Williams stays with it, and that is an outstanding football play by Ryan Williams, who on his initial rush knocked the defender to the ground, ran into another one, kind of got hung up on the inside, comes back out, and makes the big sack of Yeoman. Outstanding play. Right now, Vineland on defense had Ryan and Kayvon Williams as the two down linemen on the outside, and it's like a Williams sandwich there as they converge and keep Yeoman in the pocket. Now Yeoman's going to punt. He's standing at his own 7-yard line. Vineland with two players back. There's pressure. This one's going to get caught by Broom, who heads right up the field and stays on his feet. Returns it straight up to the 46-yard line. So Vineland with great field position and a fired-up offense. As I think hopefully we get to see Shelton throw it again here. Shelton getting into a little bit of a rhythm. The motion's flowing. He's fired up. Let's let him take it himself here or get it up in the air again as Powell goes to the top of the screen. Tony in motion. It's a fake to Tony. Throwing long. And caught again. A pitch and catch to Powell down at the 10. There was some pass interference, but that didn't stop Powell as he makes the reception. And just that easy, kind of like last week the Eagles to Deshaun Jackson. The pump fake, coverage still there, but the length of Powell and the beautiful pass by Shelton. So down to the 12-yard line of Atlantic City. We're at 5:54 to go in the third quarter. Vineland trying to open this up a little bit here, and they go back to that I formation. It's Ryan Williams, Butler, and Arthur. And this time Arthur does just what Coach mentioned last time. There's no pivot step or shuffle in that I. You just follow it up.
Follow it.
And he did for about 5 yards.
Woody Hayes made a living. 3 yards in a cloud of dust, he called it.
Well, they take a few yards off of that. They move it back 2 yards. AC takes a timeout. So maybe 2nd and 7 now.
You know what's happening, Rich? AC has so many kids going both ways. We're wearing them down. We really are.
We're not too shabby in that regard either, but I know your point, and it's not just the both ways. It's the pressure on them. It's our size up front.
Yeah.
And that's one thing with Coach Russo liking that large offensive line is we get a nice shot of them there. That's something that they do during a game. We can go across the front and we're averaging 250, 260, 6'1", and a big group that when they're leaning on you all game, you know, that's a lot to handle.
Yeah, they
Dutra at 6'4", 260. Tharp, 6'1", 280. Rep, 5'11", 270. Anderson, 6'2", 250. I mean, that's going to wear you down.
yeah, and there are 8 kids going both ways for Atlantic City. You can't do that. You know, you can have 2 or 3. You know, you have great skilled people. But you got to give the kids
Different look here, tight formation. Shelton's going to take it on a quick snap himself, but I don't think Vineland was set. It's going to move him back. Make it 2nd and 12. Interesting formation as Vineland tight. Shelton going on first sound, but just not set in time as Vineland sprinted to the line. Powell comes back in along with Tony. Ryan Williams and Kent check out. Powell now playing the tight end spot. Shelton to throw. Under pressure. Floats it away. And a really good job by Conrad Jackson as that pressure was about to get Shelton. He throws it about 20 yards in front of Conrad Jackson, who sees it and makes a sprint for it. So no grounding on that play. But 3rd and 12. We're right about a 31-yard field goal from here. Garton with plenty of leg for that, but Vineland looking for more than the field goal, trying to open this game up with this 3rd down.
Yeah.
Well, there's no over-top help on the bottom for Powell. Shelton looks to the top. He can run this if he wants. He pulls up. Now he cuts to the inside. He's to the 5 and dives down forward close to a 1st down. Maybe a half a yard short. That's that same situation we had. It's going to be a full yard, 4th and 1. Same situation before when we were talking about do you take the field goal or do you go for it here? And if you don't make it, liking the defensive position.
Well, Rich, at the point your defense is playing, even if you give it up,
look for first sound here for Vineland. There's a direct snap in the back to Shelton, who gets in the end zone for the 1-yard score. So after the blocked extra point last time, that's going to make it 20-3 Vineland, as that big red machine starts to roll. A lot of creativity on that Vineland offense. A lot of different looks they're showing. Confusing the defense. That snap there.
going for 2.
No, we're kicking. It's Garton kicking. Turner with the hold. And Marcelino ahead of the 4th doing the snapping. Good snap, good place, kick up, and it gets over. So 20-3 Vineland, still over 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. but finally getting yards in big chunks now.
Yeah. They're playing like I expected them to, Rich. You come off a bad loss, you should be really mad.
Without question.
And
the
finally, we're seeing that spark. They're going after people now.
Well, this went from a grinding game, as we talked about in the first half, to right now Vineland just exploding in front of a pretty good-sized crowd here for the home opener on a beautiful September night.
This will be Atlantic City's third possession, interception, and a punt so far. I think Vineland's defense is also finding itself a little.
Yeah, they look a step quicker than Atlantic City now, and that could be part of that wearing down those players, as you mentioned. Nice boot by Garton this time to the 15. And he's hit and brought down fairly quickly by Nashon Gregory. It was Ethan Evans making the first contact and turning him upfield.
Rich, I don't mean to laugh, but I'm laughing because we started this game in a bright sunshine. And all of a sudden we got the lights on. And,
It doesn't take long anymore.
No.
I told my wife I was going to trim the hedges in the front and edge the lawn. I'm like, it got too dark. I can't do that now.
That's one good excuse.
4:10 to go. I need that nap after school. 4:10 on the clock. AC needs to respond, and they know it. They're going to go back to trying to run it. Vineland makes a nice play as Broom slows them up, and good pursuit by the defense to clean it up. Gain of about a yard. As Kent and Rivera come flying in.
I think Atlantic City's dead in the water if they try to put it in the air. First of all, he don't have enough time back there. And second of all, we're playing great defense.
Yeah, even pre-snap you can look and say they don't have an advantage pre-snap. And that's what those formations are doing for Vineland. Now back to throw. Pressure. Tries to squirt through the middle and does. Goes Yeomans. And he's going to be tackled after a gain of about 8 for a first down at the 41.
I think he's hurt.
Well, listen, we know nobody wants anybody to get hurt, but the star player on the other team's a little shaken up. I'm going to ask the refs to call time and get him out there for a play, but he's shaking his arm. He may have taken a helmet to that. But Yeoman's trying to get back up and get in the huddle. Well, last weekend we had a former Vineland High School player, Vineland alumni Jamil Demby, got in for the LA Rams. He's on the team, and he played a lot this past week. So we mentioned Pacheco and Naheem Anderson at Rutgers, Noah Sansalone at Bucknell. Rob Blakely ran for over 150 yards versus the Merchant and Marine Academy. Isaiah also on that FDU team. Otis Harold and Shane Eckert at Alvernia. I believe they picked up their win. And DeAndre Kennedy at Montclair State. Mike Bachma injured right now, so not playing at this moment. May have missed a couple, but.
Anderson at Rutgers played on the specialty teams. So he's moving up, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, I got to see him do that a little bit last year. And a position change for him as he adapts. So 1st and 10. after the Yeoman run. Ball on the 41 of Atlantic City, and the ball snapped. And the quarterback not ready for it. And that quarterback is Connor Colombe. He's a senior at 6 foot 187, one of two weights I have on this paper. And now trying to come back in is Yeoman.
I don't think he can, Rich.
And they're running the clock here.
He has to sit out one play.
He's back in there, Coach.
Is he?
Yep. And out goes Colombe. Too many men in the huddle. That's going to be another penalty unless they take a timeout, and Atlantic City does. Just missed getting another penalty to make it 1st and 19. 2:14 to go in the third. So I'd like to thank tonight's crew: Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Brian Anthony, Doug Deal, and Ryan Steinbrown, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Missouri School District's Public Information Officer. Well, that defense trying to make another stop here and really open this up as we see defensive coordinator Clifton Smith out there with his unit. As we've mentioned before, national champ with Syracuse. Played for the Redskins and the Browns. Then some arena football for the Soul, and I forget the other team. Got to see some of his highlights as a running back for the Soul. That's a tough game, that indoor, but I also got to see his rookie card.
Oh, yeah?
Well, sometimes we worked together in the summer, and I kept on him, we'll say that, until he finally brought it in and showed me. The only rookie cards I had is when I got my picture in Little League and they put it on a baseball card. So here we go, 1st and 15. Yeoman back in. He hands off Demetrius. Or I keep wanting to say Demetrius. DeMarcus Rivers, first one there. He's turned up his play this week, and he wasn't alone. So a loss on the play. So it's 16, 2nd and 16. Defense taking over now. Well, last time AC went trips to one side, they ran back to the bottom of the screen. I don't see how they're going to do that unless that back shifts over. And it's pass. Trying to roll to the top and just throwing it out of bounds, where there's no human being in white, but so good play defensively. So it's going to be 3rd and 16.
You know who he looks like now? He looks like Sheldon last week when Sheldon ran for his life.
Yeah, it's the same thing. He's back there, and by the time he's getting it, he's got to make somebody miss and hope he guesses the right way to go before
or
he
throw
runs
the ball
into it again.
He's got to throw the ball.
Not sure what the holdup is there. The officials seem ready now. 3rd and long for AC. Yeoman going to throw. This time he has a little time. Throws over the middle behind his intended receiver, number 11.
Yeah. He had 9 open. 9 at he ran a short post and came across. And he was wide open.
Well, great job.
Of course, you know, you don't know what he sees, you know.
Where he's able to look either.
Yeah.
So 4th and 16, Vineland set to get it back. The defense has kind of taken over this game. Floating snap, but it's through. Williams almost with the block. And this one's going to be returnable for Broom, who throws someone in front, catches a block on the edge, and a silly flag comes in on a clean hit. He stays on his feet down to the 10, but there's a flag back at the 36 on what I thought was a beautiful block. That's got to drive Coach Russo crazy.
I did not see it, Rich.
I watched the whole thing set up, and it was a clean block, held his ground, chest to chest. And that's twice this year that young man has gotten a penalty when he hasn't done anything wrong. That's rough. That's going to push Vineland back instead of on the AC 10. They're going to go back inside the 30 to the 27-yard line where they'll take over.
Well, this is our third possession, Rich. We've had two possessions prior to this, and we've scored both times. So I would assume we're going to try to keep this going that way.
Yeah, and it's been pretty fast moving as we're still in the third with just under a minute at 56 seconds to go. We have another timeout on the field as offensive coordinator Coach Volpe out there with his offense that has been churning it up. Different look for Coach Volpe this season, coming out of the booth down to the field calling the plays. You certainly see better in a booth, but you feel better on the field. You can get a feel for what's happening and what's going on that you can't get up here. So 1st and 10 Vineland. AC trying to get set. Tony in motion. There's a give up the middle and staying on his feet and continuing to drive forward. Gain of about 5. It's a nice run by Arthur.
That is a good example. Straight up the field. Nope. Don't try to get out. You know, there are times when outside's good. But you'll gain the most yardage when you turn it up and go.
And Vineland can control the ball if they're getting gains like that, kind of reverse of the first half. We're at 20 seconds in running. Shelton this time, Tony in front. Shelton takes it himself through the middle and gets all he can, and he's going to have a first down to the 36-yard line. And with 10 seconds, once they make the ball, or they get the first down marker set, that's probably going to do it for the third quarter as we head to the fourth, with Vineland up 20-3 with the football and starting to move it pretty well.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
A little different spark, Rich. You can even see it in their steps. I don't know, maybe.
I'd like a lot more confidence now, and
You know,
it's not fast-moving momentum, but we have all the momentum.
I think we're going to need it next week. Play Lenape. I don't care how good Lenape is, they're always well coached.
It's kind of like when you have your program where it doesn't matter what year it is, you know what kind of game you're going to get, and that's an
Yeah.
established program. All right, and we're ready to go. 1st and 10, Fighting Clan after the Shelton first down. There's a big opening and a nice cut, but the ball comes out and AC's on top of it.
Yeah.
So, nice run to the 40, but fumbled at the end, and that's going to give Atlantic City some field position and a little bit of life.
City Vikings. Ball was spotted at the 41.
Connor Colombe comes in.
Interesting to see what philosophy Atlantic City has here.
Well, they have a philosophy that Colombe's in, and starting quarterback Yeoman is out. Let's see how comfortable they are with the senior throwing. So he gives to the top, a nifty cut by 2 before he's tackled, but he's going to pick up about 5.
I hope Yeoman isn't hurt that bad. He seems to be the only spark they have.
What do you hope he's hurt just a little bit?
Well, he's out.
No, I'm just teasing, Coach. 2nd and 5. Looks like they're ready. Colombe gets it, and he's just going to handle it to middle. Big burst, going to be a first down.
That fumble put a little life in Atlantic City.
Yes, it did. It may take the offense to come back and score again to take it out of them. Not the running threat that Yeoman was. And it's just been dive, dive, dive. And there's a really nice tackle as Barry Turner makes another stop.
Good play. I thought he had the corner. And was that Turner?
Yeah, Turner.
He read that beautiful. He took the perfect angle to get him.
And that would have been a decent gain, you know, a handful of yards again. 2nd and 10, though. Colombe yet to throw it. Now he's going to give it a look, and he just fires it towards the end zone. And caught 2 defenders there. But a big touchdown as Colombe just floats it in the air, and Tariq Chapman comes down with it. So at least 2 people with their hands on that football, but it's the AC receiver coming down to make the score now 20-9. It looked like a nothing play. It looked like it was covered good, and it's a fake attempt, floated in the end zone, incomplete. So 20-9, it'll stand with 9:42 to go in the 3rd. Well, Coach, you've got to come back out now. You're still in control of this. Do you go right back to the air, get yourself some yards and points, or do you go to the ground and try to take some time off the clock and have a nice professional
You
drive?
keep your offense you've been playing. It's been throwing the ball, They've been running the ball.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do we want to
Yeah.
strike back quick and go to the air and get it done, or do you want to grind it out? Which way you going?
Vineland's thrown the ball very well in the second half. I wouldn't.
So
Hey.
you would stay mixed. You wouldn't go
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Yeah, I would make sure I got Pal out there somewhere.
Well, if I was Vineland, I'm striking quick, fast, deep, and hard, and I am throwing the ball and making them cover me. I'm getting the ball down the field. The offensive line's been blocking pretty well on the
Yeah, they
pass
have.
plays. And I want to say, oh, you got this? Now here. This is how quick we can do it. So Arthur's had some good returns. Ball yet to make it to the back line on the kickoffs. And it's an onside kick attempt. That's an offsides play. Well, he almost had a perfect onside kick because you kind of don't want to kick it right, and he kind of missed it.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I've never seen that before. Where the kicker runs up to the ball and doesn't kick it anyway. And he's got 10 other guys offside. That's pretty neat.
Well, at least Vineland knows to be ready for it, if they weren't already. So we'll try this again. And he does kick it deep, but it's going to go out of bounds at the 32.
I don't know what they're doing. That goes up to the 40 or 45.
It's just everything takes so long. Huh. Oh, Vineland's going to make him kick it again.
Why? I didn't know you could do that.
On an out-of-bounds kick? Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So now, Naito's going to kick from his own 30. So Vineland should have great field position based on his average long kickoff. That would have Vineland receiving the kick around the 40. So you're looking at they should at least be able to get to midfield on this. And Yeoman back on his feet on the sideline with his helmet on for Atlantic City. And he's not just a quarterback, they're leading tackler, so he can help them on defense, especially in some coverage at 6'3". And that one's boomed over Broom's head. He's going to pick it up at the 17, and he's hit and swarmed over at the 20. So that possible great field position, this one, the kicker Naito just boots it through the middle and beats the Vineland return guys. And
Bad judgment there.
And Broom a little shaken up on the play. Williamstown has scored 33 points
Against
in the second quarter against Rancocas Valley.
Oh, boy.
It's 33-0. Makes you feel a little better, huh, Coach?
Well, we face Rancocas later in the season, right?
Yep. I'm just saying the way that game went last week and the score was a little unindicative of it. It's nice to see Williamstown's offense really put it on somebody.
Broom's limping off the field.
Well, they'll get him looked at. Look for Arthur to be in there at that running back position. Boy, an explosion and a pickup about 10, and that's the Arthur we saw in the preseason, just really showing a step and some strength in his running. So 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Shelton takes it himself. Bellies around. Does he have the speed to get around the tackler? He's going to pick up a couple. Just a real nice tackle, holding on to his shirt tail.
Oh, don't tell me Sheldon's hurt too. Oh.
He did come down a little awkwardly. It's Willingboro 20, Delsey 6. As they're about to head into half. And Shelton is down. Well, hopefully just for a couple plays, but Vineland has some options at quarterback, as it was Tyreen Powell last year after Shelton's injury playing there. Caleb Gandy, another backup quarterback, and Turner's done it before and was the number 2 quarterback for a while. So Vineland has some options.
Well, that's back-to-back plays. Two of the best players.
Yeah, I was just going to add that part. Back-to-back plays, two of our more senior, experienced, good players going down. Kingsway 7-0 over Washington Township at the half. It's Glassboro 21, Pennsville 7. Shawnee and Cherokee 7-6 at the half, with Shawnee up on top. And it's going to be Tyreen Powell at quarterback. Powell makes the first one miss and pulls forward for a gain of about 2. Well, with the pop-up tent in use for Broom,
I think we got a holding call. No.
Shelton
He picked up the flag.
Shelton on the trainer's table, getting a lower extremity worked on. Not sure if that's knee or ankle, but he's got his helmet still on. Powell this time swarmed over and tackled by about 4 defenders. Going to make it 4th and 9 for Vineland. And it was Shelton doing the punting earlier. And that's great to see Shelton going in to punt it away. Kind of looks like Brett Favre wobbling back out on the field there. So Vineland doesn't accomplish much, but taking a little time off. We're at 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the ball game. Vineland up by 11. And Vineland's going to take a timeout. They're a player short, and they're going to make sure they get this punt away. Well, nice to see Shelton back out there, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for our program, but for him. Last year's injury removed him from the team as he was about to break records for passing and also had over 500 yards rushing through 7 games. And he's worked tremendously hard, number 10, to get back in there and to lead this team to what hopefully would be a sectional title. All right, so Vineland to punt. For Millville, DeShields, Collins, and Watson haven't played tonight. Solomon DeShield, one of the other D1 commits for Millville. Good snap, Shelton has it. Hits it off the end of his foot. Should take a nice Vineland roll. Will be down to right around the 42-yard line, where AC will take over, and we look to see Corey Yeoman back in there as he was on the sideline asking for ins.
Well, they haven't lost much with him in the game.
No, that
He's
big
been
completion.
He's been pretty steady, handing the ball off.
And that touchdown pass. So 1st and 10, AC at their own 42. 7:20 in the ball game. And it is Cologne back in there at quarterback. Nice job by Butler making the tackle. He's had a strong game, Nas, as he's been in there. As Nas Butler, the junior at 5'10", 205, number 45, your inside backer.
Well, he's played well, hasn't he, Rich?
Yeah, and even that lead blocking we were commenting on in the first half out of that I formation. $29-0 St. Joe's over Millville with 10 minutes and 45 seconds to go.
Who's beat Millville, Rich?
St. Joe's 29-0.
Wow.
2nd and 10. Cologne threw the touchdown, but it was kind of a high wobbler. Let's see, he has time. Now he pulls it down. Pump fakes, and he's got a first down and then some. Nice run by the quarterback into Vineland territory before he steps out at the 40-yard line. .620 in running.
First rule of pass rush. You don't let him get outside.
Cologne gives this time. Stutter step through the middle and another gain of about 6.
You know what they're picking up on, Rich?
What's that, Coach?
When we go to a 3-man front. We were in a 3-man front that time, and they ran the ball. Let's see what we're in now.
It's been this whole second half with that 3-man front look in there. First half was a lot of the 4, and it was working well. But after that big touchdown pass, AC not in as much of a hurry, but still in a hurry. And there's a big run and a nifty move. Staying on his feet and down at the 20-yard line. An outstanding run for Atlantic City. So now they're calling to McGraw, so that is McGraw, their leading rusher coming in, who's get it going.
Got to go back to our normal defense, Rich.
Just look at the posture on quarterback Cologne now. He's got a little swagger to him. When he came in, it was kind of an overwhelming situation, but he's looking really comfortable in there now. And there's the give again to McGraw, and he's hit and dropped. Not much that time, maybe a gain of a yard.
Good play by Kent. Filled the hole very well. Big stand for us here, Rich.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, not as big of a hurry, but we're down under 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And Cologne to throw. He's got all day. Now it closes up on him, and he's wrestled down. And they're calling him down. Good. I was worried they're calling it incomplete. But another real nice play by Ryan Williams. That rush took a little while to get there, but you couldn't get outside of it either.
Nope.
They contain him. The coverage is good. And then you get your coverage sack. What a tough position to play, that outside line spot for Vineland. And Williams have done a nice job along with some help from Bennett. Low snap, dug out, floated, got a receiver, and he drops it. And they're saying he caught it and then dropped it.
Wow.
Jameer Cartagena had to go in and out of his hands, and he let the official know he did catch it, and sure enough, that made the official's hands go up. Coach Russo is livid on the sideline.
Wow. Who was that, Cologne to who caught it?
So it's 20-15. And of course, going for two is Atlantic City. So they want to make it a field goal game. Cologne takes it himself. He's not going to get in, so AC's going to need the ball back and to get in the end zone.
Who caught Cologne's pass? Rich?
Well, Atlantic City with 2 touchdown passes in this fourth quarter on that Vineland defense have made it a ball game. Now, with 3:38 to go, look for Vineland to try to power the ball to a couple first downs.
Oh, absolutely.
And 9, Cartagena with that in and out catch. I'm not sure he held it long enough. But either way, it's on the board. So this one's tightened up. Think you might see another onside kick attempt here, Coach?
That's a good question.
One timeout left for AC.
Well,
You may want to really think about it. Defensive coordinator Smith sitting by himself on the bench there, just in shock, much like this crowd is here today. So Vineland prepared for the onside kick. It's their hands team out there. Atlantic City with the most life they've had since the opening drive. And that one's going to get behind Arthur, who picks it up at the 8. Now comes up the far side, catches a block, and then delivers a shot to Cologne. And Cologne also does the same right back. Real nice contact on that sideline, but looks like he has it out to about the 30. Shelton tries to calm things down and get his offense on the field. There is a penalty flag down, though, with 3:29 to go. The officials ask for the ball.
oh, it's against Atlantic City.
I think they're just signaling first down, and they've picked up the flag. And no, he's going to mark it off. So it is against AC. That's going to bring Vineland out over their own 40-yard line all the way out to the 43. I was just worried that real nice block he picked up was going to be called a block in the back, or what it really is hitting somebody too hard, as that was a real nice block to spring him, but the penalty helps even more. 1st and 10 at the 43. Shelton back in at quarterback, moving much better than on that punt attempt. AC sending everybody up through the middle, and that's where the ball's going to Arthur, who's dropped for a loss of 2. But now this is where Powell at tight end, just a little dump pass to him as both backers come up and showed their blitz before. Well, this time Vineland with the tight end and 3 receivers. And here comes everybody from AC creeping up and off sides. Goes Atlantic City. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Good move there to get them offside. You know, I'm sure it was a hard count of some kind.
Well, I like the fact that AC is going to bring it, but I maybe bring a couple people a little slower and try to fool one of them linemen, wait for them to almost snap it and then make my move where you don't pick me up. But showing that blitz is going to entice Vineland to maybe put it in the air. 2 minutes and 30 seconds and running. Vineland's offense holds tight. Coach Russo took a timeout before the delay there, so it's going to be still 2nd and 7 with 2:26 to go. Well, this thing tightened up in a hurry when AC's best player leaves the field. Cologne comes in, who's quarterback before, and that first drive was like, but since then he's gotten some swagger and has 2 big scores.
29-yard pass and a 22-yard pass.
And a nice hit on the kickoff to stop Arthur from taking it to the house. What a nice night for football. I hate when it's 100 degrees out and everything else. All right, we're ready to go. As I mentioned, 2:26. Vineland in that bully eye formation. There's the give to the tailback. Takes a hit, spins forward. Going to be close to the 1st down. A generous spot may have him there. AC player a little shaken up. That ball right at the 47. I believe that's a 1st down. Looks like the yard marker is saying 1, but they haven't moved the 10-yard chains. Come on, send them down. And it is a 1st down for Vineland. They convert it by a nose of a football. 2:10 and running for Vineland now as Shelton gets the play from Volpe. Atlantic City's battle back. Vineland's going bully eye again with 3 running backs. Shelton taking as much time off the clock as he can. They snap it with 4 seconds to go and diving forward for 2. It's kind of nice having an experienced player out there that really understands the game.
He's watching the ref.
as Shelton's under center. He's just watching that back, Judge, as coach is saying.
And he
once
raises his hand, and you know you got 5 seconds.
So he'll count it off. 1, like shape, moving his hand out. And when Shelton sees him move, then he gets his team set and goes. That I formation again. AC all in a bunch in the middle of the field. Initial surge picked up, driving to the outside. Goes Arthur for a gain of about 4, right to the Atlantic City 40. Now we're down to 40 seconds to go and running.
Take a knee. Take a knee. Don't even run a play. You got nothing to gain and everything to lose.
So as we're down to 15 and 14, I think Vineland's Coach Russo is going to use that last timeout with 2 seconds on the play clock and 6 seconds on the game clock. Vineland just one more to run here. While we have that timeout, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharme's, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caterers, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technic Construction, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Beyond the Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, Ashman Installations, the DeWinney family, the Russo family. Thank you. Now just thank our sponsors. If you need any of their services, make sure you check them out. It's just like you watching this, supporting Vineland football. They're doing the same, allowing us to bring you these games. Thanks one more time to our crew, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Brian Anthony, Doug Diola, and Ryan Steinbron. And executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Missouri, the school district's public information officer. 6 seconds on the clock. Back in that bully eye formation for what should be the last play. Shelton runs around and takes a knee. And that's going to do it as the horn sounds. Vineland holds on to a 20-15 win in a game they almost blew open, but it was the backup quarterback, Cologne, coming in and completing 2 long touchdown passes to get them back in the game in what was a pretty well-executed game of football tonight, Coach.
Yeah, Rich, we have a tale of 2 quarters. The third quarter belonged to Violent High. When Sheldon hit Powell on a 57-yard pass, the kick was blocked and we were up 13-3. Sheldon went on a 3-yard run at the 4:14 mark. The kick was good. We were up 20-3. Now the fourth quarter came, and the new quarterback Cologne came in at the 9:42 mark, hit Chapman with a 29-yard catch. The 2-point was no good. It made it 20-9. Cologne then hit Catalina, with a 22-yard pass. 22-yard pass at the 3:38 mark. 2 points was no good. Vineland then got the ball and ran the clock out. They got the ball at the 3:29 mark and ran the ball out to end the game, with Vineland winning 20-15.
Well, Coach, it was a step in the right direction. The offense really showed some flashes tonight. The offensive line continued to gel, and for a while there, that defense was just shut down. You know, a few pass plays at the end, but that third quarter, it was 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs. They did a really nice job. So a step in the right direction for Vineland on a long season's quest. And next week it's Lenape coming into Gittone Stadium to take on the Fighting Clana. Any final words, Coach?
Yeah, Rich, again, Vineland needed this win after last week. They held steady. I give Atlantic City a lot of credit. They came in with a good game plan and held their own.
They certainly did.
I'm John Parentazzi, and for my partner, Rich Scarpa, we hope that you would come out to the game next week. If not, watch us on Channel 9 and Channel 41. Have a great week.